Hello and welcome to Rush Racing League, and we return for Season 8, Round 13. It's Division 4 and Division 2 coverage tonight. Of course, Division 4 up first, and it's Cota. It is Circuit of the Americas. We're headed to Texas, and it is time for us to go around this 20-corner circuit, 5.5 kilometers. That's 3.4 miles, 53 races held at the Circuit of the Americas. And Lewis Hamilton holding the most wins out there. 6 to his name. Ferrari, the most Constructors' Championship wins at this incredible circuit. And back in the commentary box, my name is George Cook, and I'm being joined by It's Dido. Welcome into the commentary box again, mate. And Division 4, it's time for the best racing in Rush Racing League.
Yeah, mate. How you going? Stoked to be here once again. Should be a good one tonight, mate. Just waiting for everyone to go out on their first laps. Looks like some guys might be doing some medium runs tonight.
Interesting. So we shall keep a close eye on the tyre choices through qualifying, and we'll make sure we bring you all the up-to-date information as cars do end up on track. We'll go to live onto the circuit in a few moments' time. First of all, a mention for our sponsors. Of course, our big sponsor, AI369. Go and check them out for all your highlight AI highlight-based needs. And then also S Nation, SimLab, and Paginian. So welcome in to everyone in chat. Looking forward very much to getting out on track. So why don't we go out there now? Let's go and check out what's happening over in the race. So we've got a lot to talk about because there's plenty of stuff happening in the standings. And as we get onto our first quali laps, you can see 2A for Alpine out there on track on your screens right now. Quick look at the Drivers' Championship. 192 points to his name. Pep still leading the way, followed by Ricardo, who has made up some pretty decent points now on 176. Really was Aston Martin's day out at the Red Bull Ring, out at our previous race. Then Cooper the Bot up a couple of positions. So watch out for Cooper. He's coming. 155 points to his name. Then it's Master for Aston Martin on 150 points. And Dynasty Sparrow losing 2 positions in the Drivers' Championship in that last race with a pretty unfortunate disconnect midway through the race. 148 points to his name. So still within earshot of that top 4. But can Pep continue to get this lead? It is really going to be an important one for the Mercedes today. And speaking of Mercedes and important races, as we barrel through towards the end of the season now, Mercedes on 340 points in Division 4, and Aston Martin close at their heels, nipping at their heels, in fact, on 328. That's a difference of only 12 points. That gap was nearly 100 going into the earlier parts of the season. So Aston Martin really doing a good job to catch up. Third is Kick Sauber. Fourth is Williams. And the McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Racing Bulls, Haas, and Alpine, your top 10 constructors. So it's going to be an interesting one, Dido. Mercedes need to hold on.
Yeah, mate, they've been doing so well all season. Surely, eventually the luck changes, but, I mean, it'll take a fair bit to knock them off there. They're stable at the moment. They've been so dominant all round in the overalls, in divisions, all round. So, yeah, they'll be the ones to watch tonight. Just seeing who's on outlaps. There's a lot of guys on track at the moment, mate. Starting to set some laps. It'll be interesting to see what sort of pace we have here. I mean, stacked grid too. 19 people on the grid tonight. So, and yellows. Who's that? Kiwi's actually retired there, and that looks like it's on track on the back straight. So that could be interesting.
Yeah. Don't know what's happened there to him, but there is a big yellow in Sector 2, so that's going to affect a whole bunch of people coming down the straight, including, I believe, the man we're on board with at the moment, 2A, and one of the Ferraris. Of course, we are missing the second Ferrari. Stoyan had a great race out last time.
He did, mate. He absolutely did. Got in just in time before the start of the race. Started last, and then had to work his way back up. But yeah, awesome race from him. He's one to watch tonight. Late pickup, mid-season reserve, being signed by Ferrari, so he's done very well since he went full-time deadly fuller. Sets the pace on the mediums, 34.1.
Not too bad. So obviously we're expecting some faster times to come across the board in a few moments. That exit of turn 20, oh so crucial as you barrel down the long straight, and it is 2A for Alpine up into P1 at this early stage of Q1. Full qualifying today, and then we'll be going for a 28-lap race. So bear that in mind as we see the times come on in. Forrestal Wolf for Racing Bulls, also on the medium tyre, with a 1:33.9. Dido, this first section, so crucial to get right through the S's.
It is, mate. It really stuffs your whole lap if you don't get that right, and you can pretty much go borderline flat through there, other than a few corners lifting off. But like I said, it can really throw you off the rest. He's doing really well here, though. Stoin saving a lot of battery. He'll burn a bit here on the straight, but you get a little bit of a breather on this one, mate, and we'll see all sorts of moves happen in the race here. This is a really good opportunity for the guys, but obviously you want to get it right. This braking zone can be quite difficult. Stoin seems to be on a really clean lap here, so this could be a solid banker here for the Ferrari. No kick outs in the rear yet. Really solid on the throttle too. Very comfortable so far for the Ferrari driver. I just want to see what this time is, because still got a lot of battery to play with. Still got two corners to come through, but not a lot of opportunity to burn it here. We want to start burning it now. Burn it up to the line here. I expect this to be a solid time from the Ferrari. It goes P2, 32.2.
Yeah, interesting with the ERS deployment there, because the line for the timing line is so short. Comes up so quickly after turn 20. So it's a wonder why he didn't use more. Probably just trying to gear up, move up towards a faster lap. I mean, 132.2 is very decent at the moment. Ricciardo is now in the lead with a 131.8, setting the early benchmark in this. And also, welcome into everyone watching on Twitch for Rush Racing League. Lovely to have you all in here. Please let us know if you've got any questions or comments. You can redeem your channel points to get an onboard lap, or if you've got enough of them, you can actually select a track for Season 9 coming up later this year. And a big thanks to Cota, who subscribed at Tier 1 and have been subscribed for 18 months, saying "Ooh la la, Mambo Italiano." Thank you very much, Cota, for your subscription to the channel. That is much appreciated. Let's talk about... Sorry, go ahead, Dino.
Sorry, mate. TNT's in the wall.
TNT in the wall. Okay, we have missed that on stream.
Yeah, he's okay, though. He'll be able to get it back to the pits.
He can. You can see he's missing some end plates there, isn't he?
Yeah, so not the start for the TP you'd like, but still early times in this quali session. Still set a time, though, P11 currently. He'll be able to go out again, unfortunately. I didn't see what happened, Eve. I just caught the end of it. Anyway, mate, I'll let you go back on.
That's quite all right. I was just going to say, let's talk a little bit about Cota, because this is not an easy track. Already had a few drivers explaining that they are hoping for no rain today, which is relatively unlikely in Texas. But let's talk through some of the tricky sectors. Obviously, Sector 1, Turn 1, such a tricky thing to get right, but oh so key, because it launches you and sets you up all the way through those S's out towards Turn 11.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the most crucial parts of the track, and the most complicated. Especially early in the race when your tyres are cold and you're trailing someone really close, it can be quite dreadful through there. But that corner, that sector, and also the end of the straight, the end of the long straight, that braking zone can really stuff your whole end of your third sector up. So there's a lot of tricky parts of this track. It's not my favourite, that's for sure, but it's very, very fun if you know how to do it right, for sure.
Well, we're on board.
Oh, sorry, who are you on board with?
Well, we're just on board with Pep at the moment, going for a lap, so I was wondering if you could talk us through a full lap.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Currently P5, it looks like he's still on a push lap. Does have his teammate in front of him, so this could be big here for the Mercs. These guys have done this all season. And he's really pushing through that first sector. You can carry a lot of speed through there, burning a lot of battery now. And he's got his teammate Dynasty right in front of him. He's going to give him a massive tow. But there is a McLaren in the back there who might be able to sneak their arch nemesis, this double tow here. It'll be interesting. Anyway, Pep, as we said, we'll have a little bit of a breather now. Dynasty's still a fair way ahead. So he'll be able to get a lot more tow for the last part of this sector. On the brakes hard there through the last sector. No mistakes so far from Pep. This is going to be a solid time from him. I'm pretty sure that first lap was just a banker, and this is on the same set of tyres, so very interesting. Starts to wrap up this lap now. A few cars ahead of him, should not cause them any issues. This is where you can invalidate really easy. You want to snap it down a gear, try and get the throttle on early there. No oversteer through there, absolutely none, and this should be absolutely smash of a time. And it isn't.
No. Looks like he's not had a great one, actually, unfortunately for him. But yeah, he did have a car in front of him through 18 and 19, and through 19 he was, it almost looked like he was off the throttle, a little bit worried that there was going to be a car right in front of him, but maybe an invalidation somewhere out on track. Nonetheless, Pep will go again. Now being pushed down to P7 with Sammy the Slammer and Panic putting in some good times, and also Meso, the reserve driver for McLaren today, currently up in P2 with a 132.125. That's a great time from Meso and puts that McLaren up onto the podium positions. For the moment, Stoyan in third place, followed by Master, Panic, Sammy, as I said before, and then, of course, Pep. Who are you on board with? Let's find someone to go on board with.
Cooper currently, and he was getting a tow from his teammate Dutch there. It could have gone all wrong. Really could have gone all wrong there, but they got it right somehow. But Cooper's the one to watch, especially in the dry. We know how quick he can be. So he starts to wrap up his lap now. He hasn't set a lap yet, leaving it around the 7-minute mark. Very confident, obviously, flat through here. Wow, he actually, jeez. He had absolutely full control of that car through there. No issues. He goes fast with 31.8.
Wow, good effort from Cooper the Bot, continuing his run of good form in the dry weather. We know he loves it, so he is in his element here. It's a technical circuit. It's a complicated one, so he'll be absolutely reveling in this, and he's really doing a lot of good work to sort of kick Sauber up the up the order somewhat in the Constructors' Championship, and of course himself in contention for the Drivers' Championship, despite coming into the season quite late. So he's done an impressive job so far, and he's going to be a real weapon here in the dry conditions, assuming they hold in through the rest of qualifying. We've got Q2 and Q3 coming up, of course, and then the full race. Well, not full length race. It's a 28-lap race. It's 50%, but nonetheless, it's going to be a key one today. So got a few people in the pit now as things start to die down, and then we'll start to head towards the last runs. Currently out there right now on a lap, I believe, Deadly Fuller, who was an early person up the top of the grid, fallen down somewhat, did his initial laps on the medium tyre. Now he's moved to those softs.
Yeah, I think he just finished his time, so he only could manage a P13 there. A few drivers in trouble here. TMT's another one. Went out on a fresh set of tyres and actually invalidated. So he might have to go out again, or he might just call it and just accept his fate, because he's had to use 2 sets of tyres already. Using 3 in Q1 might be a bit dangerous. So TMT, Uncle Morty, Jennifer, and I would say Deadly Fuller and Dynasty are also in some strife here if these boys at the back go back out, which they are now. So this is going to get interesting here, mate. And we've got SJ in there with some banter saying Williams and Merck need to pick the pace up.
Yeah, well, as a McLaren fan, I can't agree with that at all. I think they need to keep their pace exactly where it is. We're watching the last few corners of Deadly Fuller's lap. Let's see what he can do. Just gone through 15 and 16, now through the double right-hander, 17 and 18, and into that sweeping left-hander. Going to bring the car back over onto the curb and then hope you've got the grip to get through. He almost does, but he's actually going to pull in, and that will be his lap for now. He'll get a fresh set of tyres. The only person now left out on track is Jeneth from Alpine, making a return back into the seat. We've had a mix of drivers at Alpine. Obviously some issues getting their main drivers in consistently throughout the entire season. So we've had Gangster and a number of others. He's also going to come in, get himself prepared for that final lap. So we are now in the doldrums for the moment. And an interesting lineup so far for these guys. Dynasty Sparrow's out on outlap, so is Uncle Morty. But with Meso up there, the McLaren's looking really good today. 6th for Panic, 3rd for Meso. It's not looking too bad.
Yeah, no, they won't have to go back out again at all, and they'll be safe, but very comfortable first laps for them. That's what you want in Q1. You want to be able to do 1 lap, and that's it. But some of these boys have to come back out. Dynasty now on an out lap, going to start his lap, and it looks like Uncle Morty just started his. If you want to take us for a hot lap with Uncle Morty, he needs a big lap here to get
Let's
out.
see that. He is currently P17 for Red Bull, and now into the far sector. Sector 1, super quick. You're flat out through most of these corners as you sweep left, you sweep right, you sweep left again, and then around the right-hander here. Just got to do a little bit of a lift-off as you head through into turn 7, which is a hard cut left. Now up turn 8 and 9. Tricky little chicane, high-speed chicane, technically speaking. Don't run wide there on the exit of 9. That will be a penalty. Slight left-hander into turn 10. And now the hard braking zone, turn 11. Crucial to get this right because you run down the back straight. He's missed the apex there, so not really able to get the power on as he would have liked. Car did not rotate as much as it needed to. Kind of want to open that corner up and just get on the power as soon as possible. A few drivers saying that's our session done. As we barrel down now towards turn 12, another hard braking zone. Hit the brakes at the 100 mark, get it turned in, hope the car sticks. That's a lovely run through there for Uncle Morty. Now into this part. And this is where we get a little bit tricky, 13 and 14, and then 15 and 16, where the racing line is not really that obvious. But once you know it, you know it. 316 does that quite nicely. Double right-hander again, 17 and 18. We head towards the back. You can see the back of the pit lane. And now the fast right-hander, sorry, left-hander, turn 19. A little bit unsettled there from Uncle Morty. Hard braking zone, get it turned in, ride that curb, and get the power back on and over the timing line. And at the moment, that's good enough for P14 just out of the drop zone.
Yeah, actually put his teammate into the drop zone there. Unfortunately, Summons has retired, so he won't be able to improve either. So he is done. TMT and Jennifer Dynasty all out again. Trying to improve. There's a lot of cars out, actually.
There are indeed, actually. Yeah, we've got TMT Legend just starting a lap now, so we'll keep the cameras pointed towards him. He's in the drop zone right now. 2 confirmed in the drop zone. T. Salmons for Red Bull and Haas driver Flying Kiwi, who had an early odd incident in this Q1 session and found himself out of the remainder of qualifying. So Jeneth and TMT Legend really going to be up to them and Uncle Morty to find some time out there, because it looks like someone's improved, and Uncle Morty suddenly finds himself back in that drop zone.
Yeah, the sister team could put the nail on the coffin here. TMT needs a big lap. He's had to use a lot of softs, though. I think this is his 3rd set. So if he gets through, it's going to hurt him later in quali, unfortunately, with that incident at the start. Needs a huge lap. He doesn't have anyone in front of him to give him a tow. As he comes down, you're burning all his battery. Needs to save a little bit for this last sector. No lockup for TMT, as we see a lot of guys improving now. Deadly's on a lap, Dutch's too, but they're all safe currently. Uncle Morty, I think, is done too. He looks like he might be going again on a used tyre. Geez, this is the best part about Q1. You feel like you're safe, and all of a sudden you're not. Uncle Morty was way up there, and now he's dropped right back down to P15. We could see a double Red Bull elimination here, but I don't know how far up TMT's on his time as he comes across the last line. He's got no battery to play with anymore. Used all his deploy, and he does. He goes P15.
That's close, but it's... Oh, yeah, no, sorry, it is enough. It is enough. Sorry, yes, my math, once again, failing me in this. So it's the bottom 4 drivers, P16, 17, 18, 19 that are out this session. And the top 15 will, of course, go on through. So apologies for my terrible mathematical skills. TMT Legends, he's done enough for now, but Jeneth is on a lap. So let's see. He's where is he on track? He's just coming through 18. And now he'll go to 19. So last couple of corners for Jeneth. Can he find an improvement? He's 5/10 off the pace he needs. I can't see if he's actually improved or not. Time remaining is 0 on the clock. Has he done enough? He has not. So Jeneth eliminated, and at the moment we are still staring down the barrel of a double Red Bull elimination. T. Salmon's guaranteed to be out, and Uncle Morty, he's on his final lap.
Yeah, he's 2/10 slower on this lap. I do not think he can improve on this one, unfortunately, with that used tyre. And I think that's it. I think everyone else is sort of wrapping up. 2 Agent for You is coming across the line. He's currently safe anyway, but he does improve up to P11. That almost puts Wogjet into the firing line too, and then Wogjet comes back with P10. But geez, both Mercs really running it close there as well.
Yeah, it's much closer than they would have liked. The 2 Aston Martins up there in 3rd and 6th. McLaren right up there in 4th and 7th. But for Pep, it's P13. And Dynasty, it's P14. I mean, that's as close as you want it to be. I wouldn't want to be any closer because you'll be in the drop zone. Uncle Morty not able to improve on that lap, and this is going to be it. Forrestal Wolf for the Racing Bulls does put in the top lap at the end of Q1, and that is going to be our Q1 session all wrapped up and done. We'll move on to Q2, where we'll see the top 15 drivers battle it out, get into that final Q3 session. So it is Forrester Waif, followed by Cooper the Bot, Ricciardo, Meso, Stoin, Master, Panic, Deadly Fuller, Sammy the Slammer, Wogjet, Dutch Verstappen, 2 Agent for You, Pep, Dynasty Sparrow, and TMT Legend, all through. And here is your drop zone: Uncle Morty, T Salmons, Jenneth, and Flying Kiwi, who will be out for the remainder of qualifying and will, of course, return in this race. We will have some interviews, hopefully, in a moment's time. We'll see who we can get into chat. So, Uncle Morty, T Salmons, Jenneth, Flying Kiwi, if you guys could jump in for a little bit of an interview, that would be fantastic. And in the meantime, another big thanks to our sponsors, AI369, SimLabs, S Nation, and of course, Pagnian. Big thanks to all of them today. And of course, a big thanks to everyone in chat watching the stream. Remember, you can redeem some channel points for an onboard lap, or if you've got enough of them, you can certainly do a Season 9 racetrack selection. So get your channel points used, get involved, and we'll be putting up some polls once we get through the rest of the race to determine the driver of the day today. So, Q2 time, and we'll see if we get anyone in for an interview. But,
Sweet,
you know,
sorry,
yeah.
mate?
Well, I was just going to ask, Q2, what's the general mindset you need to take into a Q2 session?
Yeah, it changes pretty quickly from Q1 to Q2. It's a bit of breathing room in Q1, depending on your pace. Obviously, only 5 don't go through and 15 do, so there's a big difference there. But this Q2 session, only the top 10 do, and depending how you feel, that can go really bad really quick. So you set a P5 lap time, and then all of a sudden you drop down to P12 really quick. It's just like we saw in Q1. So having a teammate in front could also help massively here with that big straight with the toe. We'll probably see the Mercs and McLarens and maybe even the Kicks do it, maybe even Williams, but that will be a big benefit as we see both Mercs come out now. I would say to start off their lap with a toe. They may be struggling too, as we saw in Q1. They were not up the pointy end where we usually see them. So they may have to really rely on this toe to get through. But yeah, your mindset's different, mate. It starts to think about pole opposed to just getting through. Because if you can get through this session, you can start thinking about getting pole.
Can indeed, yeah. And we're just watching the Aston Martins there going out line astern, sandwiched between a Haas and I believe that is an Alpine. So it looks like they're going to be trying to work together on this lap as well. And working together is a big one. That slipstream is worth a lot. Big toe you can get from turn 11 down to turn 12. Rest of the circuit, not so much. You want to actually be away from the driver ahead as much as possible, especially through Sector 1. High speed, you need all that downforce possible in the dirty air. It's not going to help your cause for a good lap.
Nah, it doesn't, mate. And as we see, it looks like a few drivers starting there now. I don't know what's going to happen here with all these guys this close together.
It certainly won't. I mean, we saw Forrestal, he actually put in a fantastic lap at the end, beat Cooper to the top time in Q1. Obviously, we're going to see some faster times from the guys out there today. 31.6, I think it was, for the fastest time in Q1. So we know that the Racing Bulls got some pace. Whether the rest of the teams are sort of doing the old sandbagging through Q1, which we do typically see. We'll see if they start to put in the faster times. And a lot of them were running without that slipstream working together sort of aspect in that first qualifying session. It was whether or not you were lucky enough to end up behind a car at the exit of turn 11, but the rest of the lap pretty much compromised from the dirty air, so not ideal. Sector 2 yellow, it's just a slow car going through and getting set up on their outlap. I believe that is Forrestal or Wogjet, one or the other. We're just watching still Ricciardo and Master still sandwiched. Everyone getting DRS except for the Haas in this train into turn 12. Looks pretty stable at the moment for the most part.
Yeah, they've got to be careful they don't hit each other and get a grid penalty or impede each other, but everyone's sensible at this point. This is going to help the Astons massively. They've had that Haas in front the whole lap. So this could be a good time from the two Astons to finish up their lap, who have been pretty good this season, as we've seen Master and Ricciardo in the comms box after the race a lot. See what they can put this car.
They're becoming true regulars. We'll have to invite them in to do some commentary at some point, I think. Across the line for the fastest laps coming across your timing board right now, and it's 32s where we're sitting at the moment. Ricciardo, top time, 132.2. So we're still half a second off the pace we were seeing in Q1. And yeah.
Yeah, I think very typical in Q2 for the guys to do a used tyre run at the start. So the times will be a little bit off. Some guys will do a new run, but 9 times out of 10 they use a used tyre. Just seeing a few other guys wrap up their lap. Panic is also on a lap, coming around the final corner now. See where you can put the McLaren. Goes up to P4 with a 32.8. So still
Not
a
too
little bit off
bad.
the pace, but yeah, I think a lot of these are used tyres at the moment.
Yeah, so once they get onto their full fresh runs towards the end of Q2, we'll get an idea of their actual pace. Meso, reserve driver for McLaren for round 13 at the Circuit of the Americas, is now on his lap. We'll keep an eye on how he goes throughout this session. McLaren looking strong in Q1. Can they carry that performance into Q2? That is going to be the question. Will Mercedes turn up the dial on the car and get themselves up into a decent position? The early indicators saying they're still struggling with a little bit of pace out there. Pep's back in the pits, and Dynasty has set a 1:33.0. That's not a fantastic time.
No, I don't know if this is genuinely Merck struggling here, or they're just riding it a bit. But like I said, I will be a little bit more confident at the end of this quality session when they start doing some new tyre runs. As McLaren here are getting a nice toe. Very close
Some
to
good coordination by the two. Panic being the one to get out of the way. Okay, they had to time that one to perfection. Woo!
Yeah, that was last minute getting out of the way there for Panic, but this should help Meso, who was quick in Q1. And McLaren currently, Panic's up in P4, so if Meso can get up there, the idea too is to not have to do a second run in this session, but you usually do, because it's too risky not to, especially if you're in the 32s. As Meso comes across the line now, he'll go fastest.
Whoa. Very good lap there from Meso. Does take the fastest lap. Still not back into the 131s though just yet. And we've also had Sammy the Slammer have some sort of incident, and he is out of qualifying session 2. So the Haas driver who we've been seeing consistently into the Q3 sessions has found himself out at this early stage, and we're not quite sure what's happened there. Got someone in the chat saying he might have died going into the pit. So he's had an accident somewhere and taken himself out of quality.
Yeah, I think he pit entry. It's quite a doozy of a one. If you lock up, you can hit that outside wall quite easily. So he might have overcooked it there, but that's unfortunate for Sammy. That's game over now.
Well, he's in chat as well. He's already decided to come and start making his way to the commentary box for his inevitable interviews. 1:32.6, still not an awful time, but I mean, it's a guaranteed exit, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys behind still have to do times, so I think that is curtains for Sammy. But unfortunate, we've seen him very, very competitive over the last few races, but that doesn't mean he can't cut through the field tonight. You see the two kicks using a toe again.
So coordinated, all these teams, on when the leading car needs to move out of the way. Dutch Verstappen has put in a good lap, so Dutch Verstappen coming in for Kick Sauber for this race, or even back for this race. I'm not quite sure what his contract status is with Kick Sauber, but certainly coming in and reserving for the team at the Circuit of the Americas. And Cooper the Bot is the one who's obviously needing the lap time right now, sitting in P15 currently. We expect that to get a lot faster at the end of this. Turn 19, through into the last corner. Let's see how he does, using the ERS very effectively at the moment. Still got a little bit on board, probably carrying a little bit too much towards the end of this, but it's good enough. Wow, it's really is good enough for 131.3, and that benchmark that Meso set down has been absolutely demolished.
Yeah, that's a lot faster than what we've seen this session, but I think there'll probably be a new tyre run. Plus, he did have a toe. So I expect a lot more drivers to get into the 31 before this end of this session, but that's a solid time from Cooper.
Certainly is. So, yeah, I was just about to call Stoin as well. He's on a lap at the moment, and of course, formerly known as Moontime. He actually messaged me after last race and said, look, just call me Stoin. It's quite all right. So we'll just call him Stoin. Stoin for Ferrari had a good result out last time. Of course, managed to be one of the only ones to start on the intermediate tyres, and that just elevated them all the way up from about P14 on the grid all the way to the top 5, which was a really, really good bit of intelligent race strategy. saw the weather coming, got his weather radar out, and figured out what was going to be the inevitable strategy. Everyone else starting on the wets, well, more or less everyone else starting on the wets, and having to switch to inters at about 6 laps race distance because it was drying up too
Yeah,
much for those wet tires.
yeah, that was a gnarly one. That one, wasn't it? No one knew what.
I wouldn't have wanted to be in the driver's seat for that one at all. It was just I couldn't have done the correct decision making.
Nah, no, because it was a similar situation a few seasons ago at Singapore. Never knew which tyre to go on, but it was a good one to watch. Stoin now wrapping up his lap. This is probably going to be a solid time. We've seen him up the front this weekend. Comes through, still plenty of battery to squirt up to the line.
Here we go. Oh, not the best at turn 20. It's still good enough for a 132.0, 6/10 off the ultimate pace that Cooper has laid down. But that's still a very respectable time, probably getting close to guaranteeing himself a spot in Q3. But we've got 5 minutes left to go. Some fantastic and interesting messages coming in through chat as well. Essendon, I won't read out your chat message, but I'll just say good on you. Used tyres on that lap, said by Two Door Gaming. So we are being told that they're used tyres for I think there was Cooper's lap as well. So very, very interesting that he's got that kind of pace on the used tyres. But typical Cooper style, goes extremely quickly on the dries, regardless of the tyre condition.
Yeah, he's looking very good. And Ricciardo now crosses the line with 31.6, so that's getting a bit quicker now. And I think we're going to see all these times start dropping dramatically. A lot of guys
Indeed.
coming out, Dynasty, Panic, all coming out on new tyres to try and cement themselves into Q3. And I think Pep is the next to finish the lap.
I think he will indeed be, yes. Let's jump on board with Pep for the moment as he heads through this Sector 1 complex.
Yeah, he's got his teammate waiting up ahead for him for the back straight.
Yes, the old trigger the yellow flag. You know that your teammate's in position and ready to go.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one for Pep if he can get this right. 80% of battery to play with here. He'll burn it up to about 7th gear usually.
There we go. Will we see the same level of teamwork we've seen from other teams? It'll be... Oh, it's pretty close. Dynasty only just gets out of the way in time. Gives Pep absolutely every bit of slipstream he possibly can. And now, here we go. In through turns 12 and 13.
Yeah, that was very, very dramatic for Dynasty there. Getting out of the way, I must admit.
Well, that's what we want. We want the greatest show on earth, don't we? We want it to be as close as possible. But it also, I think, it's a testament to how well these drivers are working together and the skill level that everyone displays here. I simply do not have the reaction time to be driving cars like this.
Yeah, it's a lot. And, I mean, it could be for a lot. If you're on controller, it's a good reaction time for your thumbs. And he goes P5, 32.2. I don't know if that's the time he'd want, but I still think that's used tyres. But 2 minutes remaining, he won't be able to get back and go back out again.
I mean, so based on what we saw in Q1, potentially the times from P6 down, or P5 down actually, are potentially in jeopardy. I mean, look at the gap right now between P1 all the way to P10, which is currently the 32.6 from Sammy. That is a massive 1.3 second gap. So there is room to move if you can put a lap together. But I guess that's the problem. Circuit of the Americas is such a tricky lap to hook up in its entirety.
Yeah, I think if you're not in the 31s, you're in a chance of not getting through here with all these guys coming back out on what I would say new tyres. This could be very interesting here as Pep is done. I don't think he'll get again unless he can build the battery and just go again on these tyres.
Yeah, we shall see. It looks like Dynasty is just preparing for his next lap. Currently, we've got Panic on a lap for McLaren. He's, I believe, just had a little bit of slipstream interaction with his teammate. Behind them, we do have, I believe that's one of the Williams drivers. So Wogjet on an outlap, Deadly Fuller for Williams, both on an outlap at the moment. Still sitting in that drop zone. So right now it's Wogjet, Dynasty, Deadly Fuller, 2 Asian for you, who is currently out of the session. He's retired. And then TMT Legend, who's in the pit. So that's 2 guaranteed retirements already from them. What can Panic do across the line? Sitting P9 at the moment through turn 20. Looks relatively stable, keeps it within the white lines. That's good enough for P6.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. But at the same time, Still only done a 32.5. Just on that, we have two Asian for you. I think he lost it warming up his tyres.
Ooh, okay. And sorry to interrupt, Dido. We've got TMT asking for an invite. If you could sort that out for us, that'd be great.
Mate.
Cool. But yeah, okay, so that's unfortunate for 2A. He has not had a good run through Q2. So he, unfortunately, TNT was disconnected. That's why we're seeing him sitting in the pits at this crucial part. Oh. Don't know what Meso's doing there, but that's not how you want to be racing through the first sector. Scary stuff from him. Who's next across the line? I believe it is going to be Deadly Fuller. No, it is not. It is, in fact, we'll find the car eventually. Is it Forrestal Wolf?
Oh, Wogjet, no, he's starting his lap, so he's...
Oh, okay, there we go. So Wogjet starting his lap. My apologies, everyone. Two of the same coloured blue dots on track, and I'm trying to figure out who's where. So it will be Dynasty next across the line. Yes, here we go.
Yeah, I think Dynasty has to be a big lap here to get out of this session, but he's got his teammate in front of him. Still got a lot of battery to play with. If he needs at least a 32.
He needs a 32.6 minimum, 32.6, and even then he wouldn't be safe. I'd say low 32 is the absolute cutoff for him. Let's see, across the line he goes. Is it good enough? Oh, it is. It's a 32.1, separated by 5/1000ths of a second to his teammate as Forrestal goes up into P2. Excellent work by the RB driver. The McLaren's coming across the line next. They're close to the drop zone. It's Meso P7. Master jumps up to P8. Meso holds on to P7 for now, and Panic is jumping into the pits. Dutch Verstappen is going to be one of the next ones across the line as the kicks make their way to the line. And looks like Dutch Verstappen is pulling over into the pits, so he's not going to complete his lap, but he is safe. Well, the question is, what can Wogjet do? Can he destabilize that top 10? Dutch Verstappen is in trouble.
Yeah, Dutch is. Deadly's out as well, so the only person that can improve here is Wogjet. Coming through the final corner now, 10% battery to play with. He needs a big lap here too. Big improvement. See what he can do. He goes P4.
Oh, wonderful stuff from Wogjet, and the Williams driver gets through to Q3. Stunning stuff. Nearly puts the McLarens out of the top 10, but instead kicks out Dutch Verstappen from the kick Saubers, and that was a fascinating end to Q2.
It was, mate. It was. It was. And see how quickly it can change. I mean, McLaren were at the top at one point there, and yeah, dropped down dramatically. But that is it. Jump over to get the eliminations for that one. See if they want to jump in the comms box. We didn't have anyone from Q1, unfortunately.
Indeed. So 5 drivers gone. Your top 10 looks like this. It is Cooper, then Forrestal, who's got incredible pace out there today. Ricciardo, Wogjet, Stoyn from Ferrari, the only Ferrari driver out there today. Then it's the 2 Mercedes, Pep and Dynasty. Late lunge gets them into the 132.1s. Both of them separated by nothing in terms of their times, but through and nearly eliminating the McLarens. Meso in P8, Master in Aston Martin. He was very close to the drop zone there. His teammates in 3rd. He's in 9th. Then it's Panic. So our 5 drivers eliminated are Dutch Verstappen, Sammy the Slammer, Deadly Fuller, 2A, and TMT with an unfortunate DC in that session. So we now move towards Q3. And I believe we have Sammy the Slammer in the comms box with us. Hi, Sammy. Commiserations for dropping out in Q2. Just walk us through that Q2 session.
I locked up coming into the pits and went straight into the wall.
Oh, dear, dear.
Yeah, pretty gutted, but never mind. Very
well,
fun.
These things do happen. Luckily, we didn't catch it on camera, so you don't have to ever have anyone revisiting what that looked like from the outside perspective. So what does that do to your race then? How are you thinking of tackling this race from down there?
It doesn't really change the strategy. I'll stick to what I was going to do anyway. Fingers crossed, I'll probably get a couple of places, and yeah, I think crack limits will be a big thing. So as long as I stay safe with that, should be right. Get a couple of places.
Yeah, that's right. And track limits is going to be a big one. Lots of people are going to be picking up those 3-second penalties. So it's going to be a game of can you survive this complicated circuit, and then also how few penalties can you pick up throughout the race. Tell us your opinion of Circuit of the Americas. It's a tricky place to go racing.
Yeah, it's definitely not a favourite track of mine. Opinion's not too great. Obviously, I've already smashed into the wall and put an entry, so hopefully I don't do that in the race.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, no, fingers crossed it should be fine. Track limits is going to be, like I said, it's going to be huge, so yeah.
So we're used to seeing you up in the top 10. Obviously, you've probably got the pace to do that same thing here. So it's a real shame not to see you in Q3. I'll hand you over to Dido for some final questions.
Yeah, mate. I don't have a heap to touch with that, but obviously this is probably a bit more of a frustrating track to start at the back than what we've had over the last few weekends. But like you said, with the penalties, it can be massive. But it can be a bit of a DRS train. How are you feeling starting where you are? Do you feel like you can make it through a little bit? Obviously, depends with safety cars and all that, but are you confident of your overtaking here? Or?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident I'll get at least 2 or 3 positions of where I am, get back up to that top 10 and getting some better points, that's for sure. But yeah, it's those penalties I'm worried about, those track limits, so it's definitely something I'll be thinking about the whole time, but making sure I'm not doing that.
Yeah, well, no worries, mate. Thanks for jumping in, and we wish you the best.
Awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
So yes, fortunately for Sammy, we didn't catch his pit lane incident on camera. But a shame not to see him up in the top 10. I mean, we've been getting a little bit used to seeing that Haas. Something you don't see in real Formula One, up the top of the grid. So it's nice to see that H symbol finding its way to the top of the grid here in Division 4. But Sammy sounds like he's got a pretty good plan for the race.
Yeah, he does. He sounds very confident, which is good to hear. So we'll see how he can go. A few guys out on laps now too. Pep currently fastest in the first sector, but obviously with the game the way it is, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And by the way, everyone in chat, thank you for tuning in, of course, here at Rush Racing League, Division 4, Round 13 at Circuit of the Americas. The prediction is up. Who will take pole? Let us know. We've got all the names in there right now, so put your predictions in. Maybe a chance to earn some channel points as well. So jump on in, put in your predictions, and if you get lucky, you might find yourself the ability to choose a race for Season 9.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think Cooper the Bot or Forrestal tonight is a good pick. They've been super quick in the first 2 sessions. But could we see Merck or McLaren come out of nowhere? They've been strong this season. They might have been taking it easy. First few Q1 and Q2. Merck especially, though, in my opinion, looked to be struggling. But we could see a big surprise here.
Yeah, we may do. I have to admit, chat, there are a lot of big fans of Stoin. Vaj is saying, let's go 10k on Stoin. Vantage saying Stoin is free. So very interesting as the McLarens make an early charge to the top. Meso with a 131.263. Excellent time there. Forrestal with an early lap that's not going to be nearly close enough at all. More Stoin fans in chat. Everyone loves Stoin. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's a naughty phrase or something. I don't know. Hopefully it's not. But everyone likes the Ferrari driver right now. It's the only one out on track. Only one in this race today. Unfortunately, his second driver not able to make it into this race. So these individual drivers, Wogjet, Forrestal, Cooper, and Stoin all going at it. The rest of them got teammates to help out in their laps. All very wide from Pep. We've just been watching a couple of laps from him, but that will certainly invalidate. And for all the Stoin fans, we will indeed go on board with Stoin. Not for a full on board. Someone will have to pay for that with your channel points if you haven't gambled them all away. But we'll certainly get a couple of nice views of the Ferrari while we're out there.
Yeah, he's had a solid lap so far. He had to take a little bit of a void to... I think that was Pep that might have spun in front of him, or Dynasty, it just got out of the way, but looks all good for Soin so far. He's had a really good setup, I think, this weekend. He's very in control of that car every time I'm on board with him. No oversteer so far. See where this can put him. He hasn't set a time so far.
Yeah,
got a little bit of a toe ahead.
Yeah, you're right about the car. Through 15 and 16, that was planted.
Yeah, he's really got that thing in. Bit of a snap there, but really got that thing under the limit here as he crosses the line. See where this can put him. Got P2.
Oh, very good. So the Ferrari driver puts himself up into P2 with a 131.4. And yeah, that stability in the car is actually, I mean, there's a lot of cars out there that are not performing quite like that. So we shall see where he is able to make it in this race. Cooper the Bot has set a lap, a 131.5. He's back in. He'll get ready for the second run of Q3. Only 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the clock. The 2 Aston Martins waiting for that late dive out of the pits. And the Mercedes putting in some times in the 33s at the moment, both sitting in the pits. Forrestal is also out there, but he's on an invalid lap, unfortunately for him. So he won't be able to improve this time. He'll be in the pits to jump onto a new set of tyres, most likely. So let's see what the prediction is at the moment. Actually, I can't see it anymore, so we'll have to wait on that one. But either way, we shall see. Get your predictions in. Prediction is up on chat, so get involved. Chance to win some channel points.
Yeah, I mean, surely Chuck Stoin's name in the mix, definitely, obviously, but I think it's between that top 4, in my opinion. They've been super quick this quali. Is Forrestal actually invalidated, so he'll have to go again. Or
Yep,
call
and so
it.
does Master. Master's just been out for a lap. He's invalidated. Ricciardo's still on a lap, but whether or not he completes it is the question. So let's talk more about the McLaren at the top. Meso has come in with a bang at the moment, and that 31.2 is, I think, the fastest we've actually seen in the entire qualifying session, Q1 and Q2 combined.
Yeah, that's a really solid time. I think he's really in control here to get pole if he gets this right. He still has an opportunity to go faster too because he's got that last run. But don't rule out Cooper. Don't rule out Forrestal or Stoin, obviously. But there we go,
Wow.
Ricciardo.
Well, don't rule out Ricciardo. There we go, straight to the top spot, and by 0.04 of a second, so nothing in it. You see a McLaren now coming out of the pits. That's Panic. Needs to put in a slightly better lap than a 33.0. But Ricciardo, wow, straight to the top spot there on that lap, and he gets to come back in and go on another set of tyres and get out again. So that is really, really good work from Ricciardo, who is currently chasing down the Drivers' Championship leader, Pep, in terms of the points. He's currently second, and they are separated by not a lot. So a few good race results ahead of Pep could put Ricciardo in the position to win the Drivers' Championship for Division 4.
Yeah, he'd be loving where it looks right now. I'd love to finish right here. Pep P8, him P1, but that's a solid time. I don't know if he'll have time to go again, though. All these guys in the pits currently waiting for that opportunity. Probably will be cutting it close. This is a pretty long lap here.
Yeah, well, it's a 1 minute 30 lap, 5.5 kilometer circuit, 20 corners. So you got to kind of...
well.
Yeah.
I don't think he can go again. So Meso, Stoin, Cooper, Forrestal, and then obviously you haven't seen Masters pace yet. He obviously this season has been one to beat in quali. So just wait and see what the Astons can do. Ricciardo, though, I don't think will be able to go again. He could. I could be wrong. 2 minutes though. 2 minutes 50, and he's only coming into the pits now.
Oh, it's going to be close. I mean, he needs to get out with, at least 1 minute and 40 on the clock. So he's got about a minute now sitting in the pits to get everything sorted. Both McLarens are the only ones currently out on track. Looks like they might be trying to elevate Panic up the order slightly, with Meso going out ahead and going through that first few S's. He might slow down, give his teammate a bit of a tow. And now here we go. Here's the action all happening. We've got a bunch of people coming out of the pits. That's going to be Forrestal, Cooper, and a number of others. The 2 Mercedes now out. Williams, driver of Wogjets, coming out of the pits. So it is all action. 2 minutes to go in Q3. Right now it's Ricciardo on top, followed by Meso, followed by Stoin, followed by Cooper, all on the 31s. And then Forrestal, who we've seen get those 131s, but he has yet to do one here in Q3. There's the yellow flag signaling that someone is waiting just before turn 11. And there we go. That is the slipstream. The McLarens doing their thing. Meso dives out of the way. DRS swings shut, and into turn 12 we go.
Yeah, Panic's had a really solid first sector, and he's set the fastest second sector. So this could be a massive time here if he can piece this last sector now. But this is where we've seen people struggle this race. This quali in the last sector. So interesting here. Panic
well,
currently
it's definitely the most technical part. I mean, that entry through 13, 14, you're off the traditional racing line, and 15, 16 is tricky. That's so quick for Panic through 19. He's into 20. Foot to the floor. What can he do? Oh, it's good enough for P5. It's a 131.8. Does join the 31 club. It's not good enough to get into that top 3.
Yeah, everyone out now. Ricciardo did make it in, I think, in time, but I don't know if he'll make it. He should make it just. He'll have to push on this outlap, though, which is not ideal. So we'll have to wait and see what Ricciardo can do.
Yeah, he got the 2 Oh, so many drivers out on track, you're right. So Forrestal is on a lap. Meso is now, of course, on a lap, swinging through those first initial S's. The Mercedes currently out there on a lap, side by side. Looks like it's going to be Pep getting the drag by Dynasty. So Dynasty will have to try and not compromise himself too much. Otherwise, he's going to be P9 in this race, which is not going to be ideal because he won't have enough time to get across for another lap. Master just beginning his lap now, so this is key for Master for Aston Martin. Into turn 1, he's wide of the apex already. That's not the kind of start you really want to be going for, but there's a lot of approaches to turn 1. Oh,
Panic
that's...
Panic had to absolutely dive out of the way there of Meso to avoid him going. Meso though has set the fastest middle sector with that toe, so this could be a big lap here. Could be pole. He only needs to improve by a tiny. Oh, he invalidates.
He invalidates the lap. So all of that done for nothing, and even his teammate having to dive out the way. So the McLaren's having a bit of a shocker at the end of Q3. Not ideal at all. Next across the line, I believe, is going to be Forrestal. Here we go. Into turn 20. What can he do? Can he elevate himself up into that top 3, maybe even to the top 2? Across the line. It's good enough for P3. That's excellent work by the Racing Bull driver. Next across the line, it's going to be the Mercedes. Pep is the one in behind. Dynasty is going to be the first across the line. Let's see what happens with these two. It looks okay. It's not quick for Dynasty, but Pep is up into P5 in this race. Excellent stuff. Now Cooper across the line. What can he do? Can he take pole? He can, with a 131.099, and kick goes to the top spot once again. The only person left to talk about is going to be Ricciardo. He's on a lap. He's pushing. Can he get into those 130s? Can he beat Cooper's time? Cooper is nearly 2/10 clear. Through we go into 19. Ricciardo going to be hard on the brakes. Lifts off beautifully into 20. Does get the car a little bit unstable in the rear. That's not ideal. But he's done it. But he's done it. It's a 130.9 from Ricciardo.
Yeah, wow. I don't know how he did it. There was another 10th in there in that last corner. If he didn't snap out there, that's a massive lap from Ricciardo.
Unbelievable stuff. Right at the death of Q3, Ricciardo puts in the lap of his life and puts himself into pole position ahead of Cooper, ahead of Meso, who's done a great job for McLaren today. P3, second row of the grid. Forrestal for Racing Bulls, second row of the grid. P4. Stoyn, the chat's favourite driver apparently, is P5. Pep P6. Panic for McLaren up ahead of the second Mercedes. P7 for him. Wogjet, Master for Aston Martin, and Dynasty Sparrow, your top 10. Great stuff. Prediction was a massive win for Watanabe and Vijay, who have, I think, been... I think they have got so many challenge points. Okay, well done. So we had 45,000 points on Cooper, and Cooper did not get pole position. So well done to everyone. I'm looking at my channel points, and it now says 0.
Oh, wow. I'll be right back, mate.
No worries, Dido. No worries at all. We'll be going to the race momentarily, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic viewership numbers on the stream, by the way. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we're looking forward to what's going to be a spectacular race at Circuit of the Americas for round 13 of Season 8 in Division 4. Remember to stay tuned, of course, because Division 2 coverage coming up after this 28-lap race. Big thanks to our sponsor, AI369, and our other sponsors, SimLab, Pagnian, and, of course, and I'm forgetting a name here because I'm so excited about the race. So there is another sponsor. I will remember it at some point. Maybe the admins can jump in and tell me who I'm missing. Either way, I'm super excited for this race. It's going to be brilliant. I think I know what's done it. I think it's the 0 channel points that I've got against my name now. That's the thing that's making it painful for me. Here we go. The lights are going on, and we're about to go racing, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready. 5 lights are on, and 5 lights are off. Here we go. Ricciardo will lead us away, and then it's Cooper the Bot. Looks like a really good start for Cooper the Bot. A little bit of latency in the server as we kicked off, and Ricciardo has managed to hold it around the outside of turn 1. He'll be in the lead as we head through the S's section for the first time. Bit of an issue down the bottom. Flying Kiwi, Deadly Fuller having a bit of an issue, exchanging positions lower down, and this incredible train of cars flying through the S's section, side by side, all over the place. Ricciardo in the lead. And then, of course, Cooper under pressure from Meso early on. Forrestal wants a piece of this action up the top of the grid as well. Stoyn's done well to start off. He's in P5. And then Panic just behind him. Pep Wogjet in P8, Master in P9, and 10th is Dutch Verstappen. As we head
Salmons.
now, we've got a big accident. It's Salmons.
Yeah, Salmons lost it through that middle first sector. Sorry, I think interesting start there. I think Jennifer got tied up too in an incident. So yeah, I was just trying to keep track of what happened at the back there. Bit of chaos as we see a few moves happening at the start, but
We do
everyone
indeed.
pretty much on the mediums has said a few, mate. Very interesting
That's right.
strategy from TMT.
Wow, great stuff at the start, and a few position changes you can see on your screen right now. We're going to jump over to the tyres, see what those. Everyone on the mediums, Deadly Fuller on the hard tyres. A little bit of jostling for position at the top. Forrestal has managed to make his way into the braking zone of turn 12 ahead of the McLaren of Meso. He's just fallen back an ever so small amount. Stoyan's right in there, so it's a real battle for the top 5 at the moment. And crikey, they are quick through that turn 19. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it takes a few laps, in my opinion, to adjust from quali, and Dutch has little minor contact with Sammy, and that's allowed Dynasty to sneak up the inside. But what I was saying is it takes the guys a little bit of laps to adjust from the braking zones from quali. Jumping on the medium tyre, you drop a lot of grip, and someone's lost the wing in turn 1, and that's what I think of Deadly. Deadly's lost the wing there, and everyone's slammed brakes in front.
And we've only done one lap, and Flying Kiwi has already picked up a 3-second penalty for track limits. Predictions in for how many track limits we're going to see today. Dynasty had a go at Dutch Verstappen, no way to get round there. Top 4 still holding solid at the moment. There is so much happening on track. We're not going to catch it all, so bear with us as we find our way around the grid. Wogjet defending now against Master, who's not really made any progress in this race so far. And then it's Sammy the Slammer, making a bit of a comeback already.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And Forrestal looking really dangerous on Cooper, but Cooper might even want to go for the race lead here on Ricciardo. Thinks better of it, backs out of the pass, but the top 4 are starting to break away. Sorry, 5 are starting to break away here. Panic out of DRS now. So he's probably going to want to push a little bit here to try and get to that DRS again. If he loses it, it's very hard here to catch it back up. Move a little bit further down. At least dropped all the way down to 16th now with that front wing damage on the hard tyre, interestingly.
Yeah, the hard tyre is an interesting choice for this early part of the race, especially given the high-speed nature of it. I think the hard tyres take a little bit extra time to get up to that nice position of temperature. We're seeing Cooper at the front of the grid, attempting to make another go at the Aston Martin ahead. And this is the rear view mirror viewpoint that Ricciardo, I think, truly fears. He hates seeing a bright green car right behind him.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be in a comfortable position right now. He'd love to get out of this DRS. He's probably hoping Forrestal and Cooper battle out here, but I can't see it happening. They will be very smart about how they react here. Stoyan just hanging in there. He needs to get back into that DRS. He's 1.1 now, falling into panic a little bit. Might be struggling a little bit on the mediums. And we're seeing Pep getting really close on the back of Panic. So this could be interesting here. These guys, as we know, arch rivals McLaren and Mercedes in Rush. So these guys are battling hard in the overalls here. And there's moves happening everywhere. Wogjet and Master going toe-to-toe too.
Big slipstream for Master. He does manage to get himself past as we see Pep have a lock-up into turn 12. Now the tricky section into 13 and 14. Odd racing line through here, but you can follow the cars in front of you for the most part. Another lock-up there from Pep. He's pushing the car very hard. So is Master, trying to find a way to catch up to the back of that Mercedes and make that overtake. Key for the Constructors' Championship that Aston Martin get 2 cars in front of the 2 Mercedes in this race. Still close to the top. Cooper is still under pressure from Forrestal. Looks like a little bit of a gap starting to open up for Ricciardo. He'll lose all of that, of course, as we get Cooper with the DRS, and the DRS train begins. Ricciardo has the clean air, so he's able to get through those faster sections of the course just that little bit quicker.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Look at Pep on the back of Panic. He is really trying to get past here. It's probably one of the closest battles on track, other than the top. But yeah, it's all about timing and patience when you go for the overtake here. You don't want to lose that DRS, but you can feel like you can break away. It might be beneficial to get the move done. Pep's struggling a little bit in that first sector, by the looks of it. Panic seems to break away. But interesting start to the race, mate. Everyone trying to settle in on their tyres, lap 4 out of 28. Still a long way to go. And you do not want front wing damage here, and you can see by the likes of Deadly, he is gone a mountain backwards since he's got that end played through that first sector. It's like driving a tractor through there with no wing. Ricciardo loses the race lead, and Pep gets past Panic.
Oh, we did miss it, unfortunately. So that's into turn 12. Looks like he's been overtaken on the inside. So Cooper finally decided it's time to pull the trigger. It's time to dive down the inside. He would have had a great slipstream and obviously a good run through turn 10 and through turn 11, as that brings you onto that back straight. So Cooper, our new race leader, he was nearly fastest in qualifying until Ricciardo pipped him for that top spot. But Ricciardo, you know, we've seen this strategy before. Whoa, big snap there for Ricciardo, and Forrestal having a little look down the inside saying, look, if you make another mistake like that, I'm going for it. So you can expect that to come at some point. Ricciardo is now in the dirty air. He's not been used to that. First 4 laps he's done in the lead of this race. Now he has to deal with the dirty air of that kick Sauber ahead, but he's quick through turn 1.
Yeah, he is, mate. He might use this opportunity to flick his battery to none and save some, which is not the worst thing. Sometimes it's nice to be behind. For as we go a little bit further down, Pet now really hunting Stoin. He's got past Panic, and he's really on a charge here. If he can get past the Ferrari, he's got to push to get to the back of Meso, 2.9 seconds, but that's a big ask around here with no DRS, I must admit.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be tricky to rejoin a group ahead of you if they're all got slipstream as well, but you're absolutely right. Stoin is finding himself under a lot of pressure now, and for some reason he's just not finding the pace that he needs to. Pep is going to make an easy overtake on the inside line for that. Stoin tries to get a whiff of the slipstream, doesn't want the McLaren coming on through as well, because we all know once one position falls with grids this tight, you may end up falling a couple of positions, if not 2 or 3, find yourself off the racing line through sector 3, and it's all over.
Yeah, absolutely. Made another change for the lead. Ricciardo has jumped back into the race lead. These guys are probably going to swap all night. Forrestal, though, just waiting there. And Meso, too, just hunting, just waiting for a mistake from those top 2. And this is where the undercut comes into clutch when these guys have to pit. Still a fair way away from pit stops, but if these guys are still this close under pit stops, they'll probably want to undercut each other, because they are in a race very close together here. It would take one mistake here and these guys, just like that. Cooper almost lost his wing there on the back of Ricciardo. Doesn't look like he's lost anything. Wogjet gets the move done on Semi.
Oh boy. Well, Circuit of the Americas certainly never disappoints. Personally, I dislike racing it in the other racing games I have played. I haven't raced it in Formula 1 yet. It does look very satisfying, and this action has been absolutely incredible so far. Forrestal going to have a crack at Cooper. He's got nowhere to go. Cooper's going to try and box him out of that move, does so, and actually makes contact with the rear end of Ricciardo, and then Forrestal goes into the rear tyre of Cooper. Doesn't look like there's any visible damage on Forrestal's car, but that's compromised him a little bit. Meso's now having a look, so this battle absolutely not over, and Stoin is starting a bit of a fight back against Pep now.
Yeah, these guys need to work together here. When these guys are ahead of fighting, that's the perfect opportunity for them to reel the gap in, but they are too. They definitely want to get past each other, and saying that. Meso there almost got the move done on Forrestal, but backed out of it on the back straight.
Yeah,
so
we can tell. That's why the advice that you're giving, Dino, for them to work together is so important, because you can see the drivers at the back of this group are moving faster on track than the guys ahead, because they're jostling for position. So, you know, it's either going to start to cause accidents between the top 4, which we definitely don't want to see, or they're going to find themselves back in the range of Pep, which is exactly what they don't want to, because then it'll be another slipstream train, and that 4-person group at the top is going to suddenly become a 9-person group. And Stoin makes the overtake there, goes very deep into turn 1, can't hold the position. Opportunity for Master now to come at the Ferrari driver. Master has made his way up above Panic in this 5-way battle. Wogjet's holding on to the slipstream range, but only just. So there we go. Another penalty handed out. Salmon's 3-second time penalty, second one of today so far. Hopefully we don't see too many more. But boy, oh boy, this has been exciting so far, and we have another 21 laps of racing to go.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You can see how much time you lose just with an overtake. Pep has lost 6/10, or just reeled it back in there. He lost 6/10 off the back of Meso just with that move from Moontime there. So these guys need to work together if they have any hope. They've reeled that gap in over a second over the last few laps, but it is dropping again due to their fighting. And here it goes again. Stoin gets the move back done on Pep, and see if they can start pushing now to reel this gap in. It's getting closer, but every time they pass each other, you see the gap go out 4/10 back. So
Yeah,
they're
that's
losing
right.
time here.
It is just a matter of working together. I mean, if you could have Pep, or I mean, for Stoin's sake, if he'd stayed where he was, you know, gotten out of it a little bit, let Pep get a few laps and get his head in the right space to really start charging. We know that Pep's got the pace to be up there with that top group. Oh, a little snap for Pep on the exit of 19. I guess Stoin also thinks he's got the pace too, doesn't he?
Yeah, at the end of the day, these guys are going to push each other. They're racing each other, but they don't see the race. Oh, someone's gone around. That's the Mercedes Dynasty.
Oh, Dynasty is around. He's dropping positions, and he is ghosted and straight into the pits.
I think he tried to pit and has hit the pit wall, similar to Sammy.
Oh dear. So that is an absolute disaster for Dynasty Sparrow. Even in chat, some people saying that the high wing is killing his race. What is going on there? We've had, was that Ricciardo getting all out of shape in that sector? I think it was. They've managed to recollect the car though. And a lot of slow-moving guys in the pits now. Flying Kiwi, Dynasty, and Salmons all in the pit. Because Salmons will be repairing that damage he got early on. Flying Kiwi is still got that penalty. And ahead goes TMT Legend up into P19 and out of the pits. And we do have a safety car. We have a safety car out on track. So something else has gone on. And I don't know what.
Debris possibly from Dynasty's wing. That couldn't be the only thing I can see. That's interesting. Yeah, that's huge. Dynasty obviously could have fixed his downforce problem there when he lost his wing, but yeah, that's not good. He'll have a chance now to reel that gap back in, so it's not the end of the world. Now you'll probably see everyone pit, and is this going to hurt the guys close together? I think Aston, McLaren, Williams, even Alpine maybe might be affected by this safety car.
Well, it's all the hard runners, really.
Yeah.
All the hard runners are going to be massively affected by this one. Their strategy kind of been upturned. They have the horrible decision of deciding, do I now switch my strategy, go for something different, or do I stay out and try and hold on? We've seen some people try and do that in Division 4 a number of times at a number of races, notably Melbourne GP, where we had about 5 cars stay out for way longer than they should have and ended up causing incidents as they toppled all the way to the back of the grid. And it is hard tyres, the tyre of choice for those going out. Cooper's still in the lead. Ricciardo, Forrestal, Rogjet's coming out. He'll be overtaken by Meso, and that'll all be collected by the safety car, which is waiting just after turn 2.
Yeah, everyone on hard's yet to pit, though. Still Deadly jumped up to P3, hasn't pitted, though. So he will have to pit still and lose all those spots. But he chooses not to. Interesting. I don't know if the mediums would get to the end here. 18 laps.
We have a weird issue on track. The safety car didn't bother to get started, and everyone's having accidents. Oh my goodness, you can see it off to the right hand of your side of your screen. There's been a big pile up there. I don't know how many cars are involved. Everyone needs to slow down. The safety car just sat there idle. Deadly Fuller is disqualified from the session. What on earth has just happened? Drama at Circuit of the Americas. What was the safety car doing?
That might have to be a red flag that we've got.
Yeah, that is an absolute disaster. We will consult our race admins, and we will tell you if that is indeed a red flag or not. So hold fire, everyone in chat. Thank you for everybody who's jumping into chat and watching the stream. We've hit 60 viewers. Thank you so much, guys. But that was absolute chaos. People will have damage. We've lost a driver from the session as a result of that safety car just sitting there and doing absolutely nothing. And we will wait for confirmation of whether the red flag will be waved in this session, or whether or not we're going to be given the go-ahead. For now, we are behind the safety car. Cooper is in the lead, and it's Forrestal, Ricciardo, and Meso. And what this does is it really brings those groups, the slipstream groups, back together. So this is going to be a fascinating race start.
My phone just died, mate, so just let me know if they've... I'm just trying to find out if it's a red.
I will try and jump into chat as well and see if I can find it. I don't know where to see the official confirmation of the red flag, so you'll have to let me know.
trying to find out. I don't know. I can't see anything yet.
Well,
from
I'm
anyone.
seeing some people saying in chat Watanabe has said yes, red. Is that confirmation?
That's red. He's Div 2 manager. So red
Okay.
flag.
Red flag, red flag, red flag has been called. So we will return to on-track racing once the session has been sorted out. We are 9 laps through when that happened. And boy, oh boy, that is a scary moment for those guys, screaming through the first sector and then suddenly to come upon a safety car that was just sitting there. No one wants to overtake, of course, because then they'll get a penalty.
Yeah, very unfortunate. We will be back as quick as we can. I'll get this lobby sorted. But bear with us, guys.
Indeed. We will go to a temporary break. We'll leave you on the on one of the screens in a moment's time. We have been told not to use the red flag video, but I might just use it for this. So we'll jump onto the red flag video. We'll get everything sorted, and we will be back on the broadcast very, very soon. Hold tight, everyone. Division 4 to continue very, very soon. All right, hello and welcome back to Rush Racing League and round 13 for Division 4, which was stopped by a red flag. The safety car creating some unbelievable, unseen antics. Well, seen in the past, but not in recent history. And we are back, and we're going to go racing very, very soon. We've reset the grid. The lobby is set up, and we're going to be going for 20 laps in this race. And Dido, that safety car, I mean, poor. Talk about hero or zero. That man is a zero, whoever was in charge of that.
Yeah, it's not good when it happens, but anyway, hopefully no more issues from now. But yeah, that was a pretty hectic scene for sure. Everyone
Certainly
hopefully
was.
not forgetting to put their setups on now.
That's right. And
And,
hopefully they can all get ready to go, because we are going to go racing very, very soon. So welcome back to chat, everyone. Of course, Rush Racing League. Remember, if you haven't jumped into the Discord, please do so, because you can go racing. We've got the reserve program going at the moment for all the new drivers. And another housekeeping item, of course, a big thanks to our sponsors, AI369, Pagni and SimLabs. And I believe there's another one that I'm still forgetting. But nonetheless, we continue on. It is S Nation. That's the one that I was forgetting. We're just waiting for players. We're waiting on track. And soon enough, this race will go live. So as you can see, the fans are keen for this all to kick off once again. And once we are go, we will get racing once again. So some antics coming out of the pits there for a lot of people. What was the order at the top again?
God, I think Cooper's P1, Ricciardo P2, and Deadly Fuller benefiting massively from this. P3.
Yeah, it's just, I think, well, Watanabe said it right. The strategy call of his life.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that's sometimes how it works with red flags, but it is what it is. We had to call it. So we will get back, and now everyone has to do another grid start, which is very interesting. Everyone back to fresh tyres. Hopefully we have no more drama and we can get this on the road.
Yep, exactly right. Here we go. 2 lights on, 3 lights on, 4 lights on, 5 lights are on, and we're about to go racing, and there we go. Lights are out, and we are good to go. And it's going to be a good start for Cooper the Bot. Does manage to get that line into turn 1 beautifully. Ricciardo next to him. Already some moves. We've got Meso trying to make some moves. He's up the inside of Forrestal. Forrestal falling back a little bit in this race. Pep is up ahead of Dudley Fuller, who's fallen down a position. Master up to P7. Wogjet, P8. And keep it safe. Keep it clean, guys. The rear of the field looking an absolute disaster right now. I think they managed to keep that together, Dino.
Yeah, a bit of drama there with the Red Bulls at the back. May even have been contact with each other. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, a bit of drama. Everyone's still facing the right way though, as we head into the long straight start of Sector 2, and there's a move between the Albine and Panics. Two Asian for you being very close together there, trying to get these moves done earlier.
This is a repeat of lap 1. We had the first start, and it's just all side by side, down from turn 11 all the way to turn 12. They're side by side. They're jostling for positions. They're trying to inflict psychological damage on their opponents. And Stoin, by the way, down 9 positions at the beginning of this race. He's had a shocker. So Stoin fans, unfortunately for you guys, you are in the wrong position to be in at the moment. Still leading at the front, Cooper, who was under a lot of pressure from our leader, from our previous leader, Ricciardo. But that battle is going to be set to go towards the end of this lap. Everyone choosing mediums except for Stoin.
Yeah, interesting strategy there. You'll want to try and hang on to the DRS if you can of TMT, but 1.8 currently. Cooper, fastest lap, in control here. Ricciardo is really close by him, but choosing not to go for a move just yet. Deadly Fuller under some pressure now of Master too. This is obviously not usually where he starts the race. So just trying to hold off the Aston here, but Master looking really dangerous.
That's right, yeah. This is a Deadly Fuller's opportunity to really bring it some home points to Williams and, of course, Wogjet and P8. So they're right up in the box seat right now, Williams, and we've seen they've been showing ever so a bit more pace here and there. Hasn't really converted into race results. Maybe this is the day when that happens, but there's Master making a move, and he will get that position away from Deadly Fuller. So now the Williams line astern on track, and they're going to be fighting for their lives to retain those positions all the way through the remainder of the race. Deadly Fuller's trying to fight back against the Aston Martin of Master. He's got the inside line too, so it's going to be a race to see who can get off the brakes soonest. And it will be Master late on the brakes and dives it in to turn 12, retains that position and puts Aston Martin into a P2 and P6 position with Pep ahead in P5. Cooper still on the lead, but that gap is absolutely nowhere to be seen. And the medium tyres, this is why we were saying it's a strategy call of Deadly Fuller's life. He was one that didn't pit just before the safety car accident.
Yeah, it really fell into his lap there. I've seen Stoyan has also disconnected there, but he's not online for me just yet. So once he's back on, I will get him back in. And there's a bit of argy-bargy up the top. Meso getting really keen here to try and get past Forrestal. So that's the fastest lap as well. They have broken away from Pep 2, broken away from the DRS. So we are seeing a little bit of a repeat from the first race, or before the red flag, whatever you want to call it. With the top four just have a little bit more pace here.
You know, I think what we need to call that is the black flag for the safety car. Get off track. Just get off track. We don't need you. We've got some predictions in chat as well. People trying to predict whether or not there's going to be another safety car. We're hoping not, ladies and gentlemen. Please cross your fingers and toes, touch a bit of wood. We don't want another safety car because we do not want a repeat of what that happened beforehand with the safety car. It was an absolute disaster. We don't want to red flag this race again, that is for sure. Normal safety car I'm okay with. Broken safety car I'm not okay with. And Ricciardo not okay with being P2. And there he goes with the lunge up the inside. And the camera shot deciding to change at the inopportune moment. Cooper the bot now has to relegate himself to P2 with Forrestal still right behind them. Some jostling for positions further down the grid as we see 2 Asian for you fighting with Semi the Slammer for that last points position in P10.
Yeah, they're going absolutely toe for toe, and Semi thinks again and goes on the inside there, and they actually make a little bit of contact. No harm there, though. A bit of argy-bargy racing. Stoyan has joined back. Hopefully he can take control and start reeling in that gap. It looks like he has, because it's dropped already to 7.7. So well done if he can get back into this race. Ricciardo sits the fastest lap. And this battle up the top, I mean, we've seen this all season since Cooper and Ricciardo started racing, obviously, together. But you can't pick it. And Ricciardo has a big mistake in the turn 1, which is what we see. And then obviously Cooper will become P1 and they'll swap. But you cannot discount Forrestal and Meso here. They are not letting these two out of their sight.
Yeah, well, I have to give a big shout out to Forrestal. I mean, he's not showing this kind of pace through most of the season. And now he's right up there with the top 2 fastest guys in the track. I mean, he has got that racing bull dialed in. Clearly a fan of this track, and he is driving phenomenally well right now.
Yeah, he's on fire tonight. This is probably the best I've seen him driven on track and rush. So really hats off if he can keep it where he's at. He's on for massive points for RB, which is much needed for them. TMT currently down in P17, struggling. Had a really tough weekend so far for TMT. So we see some moves here. Panic battling out the 2 Williams. Almost goes for the move. Object that decides to. And issues at the back with 2 Asian for you and Dutch. Actually went off track there and got himself a penalty. But they are going toe to toe here.
They really are. I mean, we know Dutch Verstappen from earlier in the season was driving for Red Bull for some time, did end up getting himself out of Division 4 for a period of time, now finds himself back in and in the bright green Kick Sauber. So far hasn't showed the pace that we usually expect from Dutch Verstappen, but he is fighting for points. He's got 2 cars right ahead of him, and just needs to leapfrog past both of them and find himself back at the points, and that'll be a good one for Kick Sauber. They need all the points they can get. Cooper the Bot has really been holding the team on his shoulders for quite some number of races now, and he's elevated that team right up into P3 in the Constructors' Championship. Racing Bulls in P8, they've dropped below Ferrari, but it's points separated by absolutely nothing. 4 points between P6 Ferrari and Red Bull in P7, and then another 15 points back to RB. So Forrestal, this will be fantastic for him. If he can get this P3 all the way home after another 15 laps of racing, RB are going to absolutely shoot up the Constructors' Championship standings.
Absolutely, mate. Those two are in control here. They've got a lot more battery than the top 2. Just because Cooper and Ricciardo are having to lead this pack, having to burn everything they have. I mean, Cooper's only got 11% battery. Ricciardo's not got much more than that. He's got 16%. These 2 behind are almost full. Oh, well, Meso's on half. But yeah, very interesting here. We could see a swap for the top 2 positions soon.
We could indeed, and actually it's perfect timing because someone, that is Thunderballs, has redeemed. We did see it. Do not worry, SJ. We did see it. Just waiting for the opportune moment. We want to get a full lap on board, so we'll just wait a little bit. We'll go round to the first final corner, and then we'll jump on board with Forrestal for a full lap redeemed by Thunderballs. So here we go, last couple of corners, 19 and 20 of the 5th lap of this race, this restarted race, and now we go on board for a full lap with Forrestal and Dido. Speak us through the battle. What's the mindset of a driver when you're up there fighting for the top spot?
Yeah, it's all about keeping a safe gap. I mean, you wanna see your braking zones a little bit ahead of you before you have to obviously slam on the brakes and seeing what the guys do ahead. So you want to keep where he is. He's in the perfect spot, 4/10, and we can see stuff ahead before it happens. So right now, what he's doing, he's just trying to maintain that gap, keep his car out of the dirty air as much as he can without losing the DRS. He's also obviously got a difficult position with Meso breathing down his neck, and there he goes wide, and that can really unravel here quickly for him because he can crack with the pressure. You got these quick guys around him. This is his first time in this position, so all he needs to do is maintain his battery, which he's done perfectly. He's got the highest battery out of this top 4, which is probably the best position to be. P3 currently. I'd be much rather being there. Oh, and that is very late move. That is not what you want to do. That has hurt their race now because, not too much. They haven't lost DRS, but that's what happens in DRS trains. You do lose a bit of patience sometimes, and that's what happens. Meso now gets the move done into P3.
Wow. It's absolutely incredible. Great time for an onboard lap there. We don't know if there's any damage. We'll wait for the rest of the lap to complete. But yeah, Forrestal got a little bit caught there. He had Ricciardo slowing down rapidly in front of him. He had the slipstream, so a lot of pace in the car. Was basically figured out the correct thing in a way. He knew he was going to go into the back of him one way or another, so tried to dive down the inside. Didn't work out. Meso overtook him. Forrestal re-overtakes for P3 in this race. Meso's trying to do the send down the inside. Wonderful racing by these two. A little bit of contact on the exit of turn 1, but that is stunning work. Defensive action by Forrestal. They're going to be side by side all the way through the S's. Whoa, big accident! And they've actually got off track, but it's no major damage, it looks like, on either car.
Yeah, you very rarely see two cars go side by side through there successfully, and Meso tries to get back to position, ends up causing more trouble than he intended.
And still picks up a 3-second penalty.
That quickly it can unravel. Now they're 2.2 seconds. It's the top 2.
So now on pace alone, they need to catch up to those top 2, and they're going to be dragging the Mercedes of Pep and the Aston Martin of Master along with them because they are within slipstream range. So that is a big shake-up. And I have to say, Thunderballs, I think that's going to be a points curse, that one. That is not a commentator's curse. That is a points redemption curse. Congratulations. You've officially cursed the driver that we went on board with your points and the full on-board lap. Congratulations, well done. Nonetheless, that shouldn't stop anyone else from redeeming their channel points for the on-board laps. We are keeping a close eye on chat going forward. But yeah, this is a lot of work now for Meso and Forrestal. And as you said before, Dido, they need to work together now. They really, really do. It's critical.
Yeah, they do. They're reeling in that gap quite good, though. 1.7, and the top 2 jump in the pits. Ooh. And Meso. Everyone reacts. So we're going to see any penalties here. It doesn't look like it. Everyone jumps on the brakes nice and early there, but that's early. Set lap. I mean, obviously the laps are different here with the only 20. Tyre wear is a little bit different, but they are all reacting to each other, pitting early there to try and gain an advantage on each other. It doesn't work because now they're all on the same strategy. Pep, Master, and Wogjet now in control of this race, but they will still have to pit, obviously.
Yeah, so 7 laps on their medium tyres, so the medium runners out there at the moment will still have to come into the pits. 12 laps to go in this race. The hard tyres are probably a pretty sensible choice and might only be another lap. Also here for these 6 drivers at the top of the grid now on these medium tyres, and they're coming around 10-11 right now. We're on board with Pep. Well, the cameras are certainly following him at the minute, and there's a small gap back to Master. Master's just been falling slightly off the back of Pep, but they're all going to have to go pretty fast if they're going to make this sort of pit strategy work.
Yeah, they'll have to pit now, otherwise they'll lose too much time to these guys on the hard tyres.
Oh, Master sends it down the inside.
Oh, he gets it done though, but he's gonna. I think he might lose it again. No, Pep decides not to. Very interesting.
It's a weird strategy. It's a weird call, isn't it? I mean, in this situation, you need a fast lap to make some overtakes on the guys you have pitted by the time that they come back around after you pit, and that's not going to help that.
No, it would have slowed both of them down quite dramatically there, so it wouldn't have been no advantage. Both probably going to jump in the pits here anyway. Late entry there for Master and Pep.
Yeah, indeed. We do have another prediction up, and the prediction is, will we see a safety car within lap 15? Submissions close in 5 minutes. Give us a yes or a no. Chat, you are able to get some channel points on the board as we see Cooper make it round the final corner. Race control handing Stoyan a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and yet again we see the battle between the two guys who have been going at it over and over and over again, Cooper and Ricciardo, as we do see Master coming out of the pits and Stoyan's ahead of them. Wow, Stoyan started on the hard tyres. He is now in the box seat for this one. He doesn't need to come into the pits, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if he's pitted. Yeah, I don't think he has.
No, I think he started on the hard tyres for this race and has gone from P19 and a DC with the AI driving his car for about 4 laps. Now finds himself in P5 and well within the slipstream of Forrestal ahead.
Yeah.
Well, close to, I should say.
He doesn't have to pit again, does he?
I don't think he does.
Well,
we'll keep an eye on it. This could be a genius strategy here from Stoyan.
He definitely has to pit, so...
He definitely has to pit. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
Safety car will hurt him if he help him, sorry. But right now he will fall a fair way down if he pits soon.
Well, either way, he is certainly set the timing sheets alight with red that we didn't want to see with the flag situation earlier on, but inevitably, unfortunately, we did. Meso battling with Forrestal. They're now 2.5 seconds off the back of P1 and 2. So I think this is now well and truly the battle for third place ahead of us on screen, and Ricciardo and Cooper can just go at it and figure out in the remaining laps who's going to end up first when they come across the checkered flag at the end of this race.
Yeah, they'll pretty much just swap positions now for the rest of the race. They don't have to worry about the guys behind. Forrestal, though, is one to watch. If he can if they fight ahead, he'll be able to reel that gap in. Meso does have a penalty, so he won't have to worry about Meso too much. Hopefully they can work together and reel that gap in. That will be the only way they can. Pep, though, looking dangerous too on the back of Deadly Fuller. Looking like he might want to get it done.
But this has not been Mercedes' day. I mean, Pep P8 behind a Williams. He's been stuck there for quite some time. Deadly Fuller's running a really good race at the moment. Mogjet's fallen a little bit back. Alpine of 2A has overtaken him. 2 Asian for you in P9 for the Alpine. That's going to be one of their top results of the season for the Alpines. They're actually on the right strategy execution at the moment. But certainly Mercedes having a bad day out. Dynasty's back down in P18, fighting with Jeneth, TMT legend, and Salmons. So that is not where you want to see the second Mercedes driver battling for, because the points are so important. Mercedes only 12 points ahead in the Constructors' Championship for Division 4. There's the overtake for Pep. Finally gets it done and is now up ahead of Deadly Fuller as we see a little bit of argy-bargy going on around the grid. Stoyan and Master now going for it. Meso is lost the position to Forrestal, but they're going side by side. That's what happened before. Oh, Meso dives up the inside. That's a great move into turn 16.
Wow, yeah, he really not letting him get away with this one. But this is all just building this gap up ahead. You can see 2.4 now, just getting bigger and bigger the more they fight. Forrestal almost loses the rear there in the dirty air of the McLaren. But interesting with Pep, like you said, it's a bad day compared to what we're seeing with Mercedes. I wouldn't say it's the worst day where they are. There's still, I mean, Dynasty can still get into P15, get some points. But yeah, compared to what Merc have been achieving lately, it's definitely not up to their standard.
Certainly not. And yeah, I think FCR Hado said it right in chat. Dynasty is getting manhandled down the back of the grid. And I hate to say it, but what we saw on stream, he absolutely was. He's trying to make overtakes, but Janeth and TMT and Salmons are, you know, trying to fight their position, which they're entitled to do. So Dynasty, he's not in the place he wants to be, and let's just put it that way. Back up to the top, and P5 is Master, followed by Stoyan, followed by Pep. You can see the position change on your screen right now. We'll switch that back to tyres in a few moments' time. And this race now has only 9 laps to go.
Yeah, it's getting a bit on the interesting side now with these top two. I mean, what do? They're probably just going to continue to do this for the rest of the race, as we've seen all season, until that last lap. So we'll have to monitor that battle. But the lights down the field, I mean, all these guys would be wanting to get a move on. They're all on the same strategy now. The only person yet to pit is Stoyan. He still has to pit, which is going to hurt him if he doesn't do that soon. He needs to get the full benefit out of those medium tyres. Oh, Cooper the bot gets a 3-second penalty.
That's massive. Well, I was just going to say Dynasty's got himself a 3-second penalty, but that is of much more consequence. And Ricciardo now just needs to keep it clean to the end of the race.
Yeah, he's just rubbed the salt in the wound too with a fastest lap. So he's now well and truly in control. And now Cooper's strategy has to change. He has to get in front now and burn this battery. He's got 100% battery. He has to burn all of it and try and get away. But I don't see him getting 3 seconds ahead in this. Not in this race. It's too close.
Oh, yeah, 3 seconds is going to be a big ask, and of course that means also breaking the slipstream, which Ricciardo has not let him do when Cooper's been ahead. So Ricciardo now just needs to keep it clean. He needs to avoid that 3-second penalty, otherwise we're back to even Stevens yet again. It's the same deal with actually Meso. So Meso's obviously picked up that 3-second penalty, so Forrestal just needs to be, you know, in a reasonably decent position. At the moment, he's out of that penalty range for P2, but if he can start to close that gap up to the back of Cooper, he's in for a P2 in this race. Cooper makes the move.
Yeah, Cooper's going for it. His whole game set has to change here. He's got to go full attack mode.
The cameras are not playing ball. We want a wider shot than this, but they're side by side. Cooper has got the inside line through 16. Ricciardo's not going to be able to get that position back unless he gets a really good run into turn 17 and 18. Does so, but he'll be outside line into 19. Oh, that's really close.
Yeah, these guys are going absolutely side by side here. This is awesome race between the top two. And we got yellows. What's that? That's a incident. It looks like Wogjet.
Yeah, it is Wogjet indeed. Wogjet has got some damage on the car. I'm trying to get the cameras to play ball here, and there we go. We do now see the car, and he's lost the front end plate on the left-hand side of that front wing. He's going to jump into the pit. Wow. Big stuff happening in this race. We've got another Sector 3 yellow. What's happened there? Is that just
Wogjet slowing down, yeah.
It's just Wogjet in the pits. Okay, thank goodness. I really cannot deal with seeing any more yellow flags out on track. So, guys, keep the racing clean. It's been fantastic since the restart. And look at these two at the top. They are absolutely separated by nothing. We do manage to get Meso going past Forrestal. So up into P3 now. Forrestal just needs to be within 3 seconds. They've actually both done well and moved up within that 3 seconds.
So we're in there.
Oh, yeah, no. We've actually lost Dido from the session. So, yeah, Dido, we did lose you on comms for a moment as well. Let me know when your game's reloaded. I'll flick you an invite on stream so you can get back in. Host has left, we know, but at the moment things seem to be stable. So, Dido, let me know what we do in this situation. But at the moment, the race seems to continue. And Dido not on comms anymore as well. So he is having some trouble with his PC, whatever it is. We will keep an eye on what happens, but for now the racing does indeed continue. Per the rules, I'm being told per the rules, we immediately red flag the race with potentially 7 laps to go. So we will keep an eye, and again, I am not one of the admins here, so I will wait until I get an official flag call from our race director, Watanabe. So this could be a 7-lap race after another restart. That would be an absolute disaster, and hopefully we don't have to go through that. We shall see. For now, I will continue to keep an eye on chat, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this race as it is right now. We do have a capture of the grid order, right as Dido did DC, so I think we will be safe to get things going again. Yes, guys, I completely understand that it is the rules says a red. I completely understand that, but at the moment, I can see no call by the race director, so I'm sure that will come out at some point. In the meantime, running through the grid, Cooper is in the lead, followed by Ricciardo, both still within that 3-second area, so Forrestal and Meso could find themselves in the next position, potentially, in this race. Get on board on with Ricciardo's viewpoint for the moment. We'll keep an eye on what's going to happen. Dido yet to rejoin me in the commentary box, so I will let you know. Of course, as soon as I know, ladies and gentlemen, you will know. So it looks like Watanabe is saying that if the lobby does start to break, then we will, of course, restart. We do have a screenshot of the results just when Dido was kicked out of the lobby. So I will leave it to the race directors to figure things out. Looking further down the grid, Stoyan has fallen a few positions there. Unfortunately, those tyres starting to look rather second-hand. And can this camera please play ball? There we go. That's much better. As Forrestal gets past, we'll look at this battle. Now, Stoyan in a battle with Deadly Fuller. And it looks like 2 Asian Few wants to go. And they're too wide coming in to turn 1. And that's very, very close racing between those two. 2 Asian Few. 2A, we like to call him, has made a decent move there up the inside of turn 1, and they're going to be side by side through the S's. That's really, really awkward. They're going to have to give themselves a lot of space through there, and winner of that battle is Deadly Fuller. Excellent work by them. Master Suck and Pep are going at it as well for P5. So we'll keep an eye on that as we see the fastest lap now set by Wogjet, a 1:34.422. Nonetheless, lobby looks stable. 5 laps to go as it stands right now. Still haven't seen an official word come in to my chat room box at the moment. So I will wait for that, of course, before we change any graphics on stream. So for now, the racing does continue. And it looks like Ricciardo has fallen slightly off the back of Cooper. Cooper needs to try and make a 3-second gap. He's actually already done what we thought was going to be impossible and break the slipstream to Cooper the bot. And that puts Forrestal now in a position of very, very awkward position because he's outside that 3 seconds. Cooper is going for the win. He says it's all or nothing right now. Otherwise, he's not going to be on the podium at the end of this race. So he knows he needs to put the foot down. He knows he needs to make that gap. He knows he needs to get 3 seconds on the clock to Ricciardo. Otherwise, he is going to have a race win slip out of his grips. And that, of course, is assuming that Ricciardo doesn't pick up a penalty himself. As he does so, then that could be GG for Ricciardo's hopes of being on the top spot. Looking back, Master still being in a great battle with Pep. These two going at it, and of course very important for the championship standings. If Master can finish ahead of Pep, that will push Aston Martin over the brink, and they'll be in the lead of the Constructors' Championship after round 13. Meso still holding on, but with that penalty, so Forrestal just needs to stay within range at the moment. Taking a look around the rest of the grid, let's go down the order and see the full situation. As I think we've seen Forrestal going for a move on Meso. Yes, he is. Master was P6, then it's Deadly Fuller in a battle still with 2 Asian for you. The Alpine driver looking for a move down the inside. Into 12 we go. Big lock up, and he'll be deep into that corner. Deadly Fuller's going to get the drive back, but it's into 13 now, so no way to get past in the next few corners. Then in P9 it is Sammy the Slammer. He's had a bit of a comeback drive after a disastrous exit in qualifying where he hit the pit wall. We've seen a number of drivers do that today. Then it is the McLaren driver of Panic, and McLaren are having a pretty mixed bag of results at the moment as it stands. Dutch Verstappen, P11. P12 is Dynasty Sparrow, who's made a lot of progress back through the field now that he's gotten into that clean air. Salmon's in P13, chasing him down though, so you've got to still keep an eye on your rear vision mirror if you are Dynasty Sparrow. Flying Kiwi, of course, P14, misses the apex at turn 19. Gives TMT Legend a little bit of a chance to get back up there. Stoyan hit with a penalty. He's coming for the pit on medium tyres, down in P16, and that is not helping his cause at all. P17 and 16, Jeneth and Stoyan, and it is Uncle Morty, of course, and finally it is Wogjet at the bottom of the grid. Can the cameras play ball? There we go, with the cameras back on, and Ricciardo has put his foot down, and he's pulled the gap back in to less than half a second. So Cooper the Bot's not going to be happy about that. He has been putting in lap after lap as fast as he possibly can, and Ricciardo is going to make the move to have Cooper the Bot maybe cooked his tyres a little bit too much. It's entirely possible that he has. And that may be GG for Cooper the Bot and his attempt at the win. But he has, on the positive side, pulled a 2.5 second gap over the 3 second gap he had to Forrestal. Forrestal and Meso still battling it out in the background of this battle for the lead. Currently coming up to the end of lap 17, so 2 more laps to go after this one. Semi the Slammer, looking back a little bit, trying to hold off Panic now for the McLaren. Haas has done incredibly well today to recover from what was a disastrous qualifying, as I mentioned before. We shall see. Through 17 and 18 we go. A tricky double right-hander, and then snap the car to the left into turn 19. looking strong here from Semi the Stammer. He might even be able to catch up to Deadly Fuller, who's not too far ahead, but out of slipstream range as it stands at the moment. Deadly Fuller doing well to hold on to the back of the Alpine ahead of him. And the question I want to ask is around Stoyn and why Stoyn decided to stay out. I mean, he was in a bad position, did get a disconnect. He's actually made up 3 positions already since that disconnect happened. So got to take your hats off to the Ferrari driver in P16. Of course, that is Charles Leclerc's race number. So he's in the right position at the moment. And we do welcome back Dido to the commentary box. We need to do driver of the day. We have totally forgotten driver of the day because of all the antics. So let's do the driver of the day now. Let us know in chat, and Dido and I will choose our driver of the day at the moment. For me, I think, honestly, I want to give it to Forrestal. The Racing Bull driver, Forrestal, has done incredibly well today, and he's put in some great quality times. He's put in a great bit of racing in the race too, and it looks like he's finishing on the podium potentially as well. Dido, I know you've got about 1,000 things happening, but driver of the day, any thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say Forrestal too, but my second pick probably have to be either going to be Ricciardo or Cooper, so I'll go with Ricciardo due to having no penalty.
Sounds good. Okay, so the admins on chat can now cue that up for us. We've got Ricciardo, that was Dido's pick, and Forrestal, who is my pick. So chuck that up and we'll get the prediction going, because we are coming up to the last couple of laps of this race on board at the moment, because the cameras are just not playing ball with me at all today. Thank you, cameras. It's constantly switching back to the onboards. Everyone getting onboards for free today, unfortunately. It's not what we like to usually do. But Forrestal still battling it out, and they're well out of the range of Cooper's penalty now. So unfortunately, the battling is really taking them out for a potential P2. Pep and Master still going at it. Key for Master to finish ahead of Pep today. And another 3-second time penalty for Wogjet. So it's gone from bad to worse for him.
Yeah, it absolutely has been. I still can't get in, so I will just be here. Yeah, not sure what happened on my end. I think my whole system just cut out, but it's awesome.
Okay. Well, that does unfortunately happen occasionally. You can watch the live stream I've got up on Discord.
Yes, I'm just going to get it open now, and we will sort it out. So yeah, Wogjet, unfortunately, bad to worse, P18 now. So yeah, it's really taken a dive, but I mean, this race hasn't really been great for anyone. I mean, with the red flag, it's not ideal having to restart the race like that. So it gave some guys the opportunity for a fresh start, but it still looks like the top 2 is going to be decided due to penalties. I don't think Ricciardo has to do anything other than just stay away, but there's always that risk of Cooper getting that penalty deleted.
Yeah, we don't know what that's gonna look like at the end of this race, but I think Ricciardo as well is the kind of guy that wants to finish ahead on track and not just leave it down to the penalty, so I'm sure he'll be racing all the way to the end. It is the final lap of this race, and Cooper, with a 3-second penalty, has put himself out of the running for the top spot at the moment. 6 seconds of penalties for Meso. I didn't notice the second set of penalties for him, so this is going to be an easy one for Forrestal, but they're still racing together as well. Stoyn goes and sets the fastest lap of the race with a 134.113. He's up in P12 now, as we've seen a number of people come in for late pit stops and trying to get that fastest lap on the ticket for themselves. My question is still going to be around whether or not Master can make his way past Pep, but Pep's been looking too fast at the death of this race. And yeah, as you said before, we have had so many technical issues, so many weird things going on. Ricciardo making the move, lunging to the inside line, gets it slowed down into 12, and that's it. He's in the lead of this race, and only 8 corners to go. This is going to be it for Ricciardo. Cooper the Bot is not going to have an answer for that. Panic picked up a warning at the end of this race, so everyone had their second warning. Everyone was floating with disaster, and it's all come to a head in a race that has been a disaster in a lot of ways, but a success in many others, and a lot of stories. And this is going to carry over, of course, the points into round 14, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. Final quarter, it's lap number 20 of a restarted race after a red flag caused by a safety car, and an absolute disaster it was, but Ricciardo has turned it into success and takes the checkered flag, wins the race. Cooper in second, third to Forrestal. Provisional results, of course, Meso fourth, and he's dropped down a number of positions there, of course, to 6th place. Master does make the move happen right at the end, and will put that Aston Martin up ahead of Pep in P5. So, wow, what do we even say? Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Division 4 never fails to provide the entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I don't even know what to say to that at the end there. There's a lot of penalties coming in that looks to have gone to bad to worse for Deadly Fuller, 10 seconds, and then another 10-second. So yeah, interesting race. Ricciardo coming into home in P1. Forrestal managed to get that P3. Cooper sealed the deal with P2. Had that gaps enough of a gap with that penalty to still bring home P2. So we'll see if we can get those guys in the comms box ASAP. We do have Div 2 in less than 20 minutes. Or
Yeah,
half an
that's
hour.
right.
So
We have to rush through the interviews, so we'll keep it short and sweet. Maybe a question each from us. By the way, Driver of the Day poll is about to expire. It's even Stevens between Forrestal and Ricciardo. So for those of you who haven't voted, click that current poll button and get your votes in. We want to see who the Driver of the Day is before we get to these interviews. We'll have those starting in a few moments' time. Last vote should be coming in. Come on, guys. One more vote at least in the Driver of the Day poll. Get it open. Get your vote in, please. And it's only a few seconds until that expires. We don't want an even Stevens on the Driver of the Day poll. Nonetheless, we'll talk to our drivers who've got some interesting positions and interesting stories from today's race. We'll jump over that in a moment. And maybe, Dido, while I get ourselves over to that, let's jump over to talk to Forrestal, who is now in the session, I believe.
Hi, yeah, thanks.
Yes, well,
I think Forrestal, yes, that's Forrestal, yep.
That is, yes. Well, I might just start off very quickly. One question. Well, I want to be 1.5 questions. Here we go. Congratulations, your Driver of the Day, P3. What a race. You've had pace all day. That must feel great to be on the podium.
Yeah, it's nice. Of course, I kind of feel like, what if I didn't, had that little moment with the McLaren? What if we didn't battle and we just were able to close back up to the front two? I think I could have won it in the end. But podium, it's still nice. I haven't been on the podium in this division before, so we'll just keep on improving, keep on making progress, and I hope to be stronger every time I'll drive.
Absolutely. Dido.
Yeah, mate. We've seen you in a position we don't usually see you, mate. Was this one of your tracks? Like, is this your track that you're sort of because mate, you had some unbelievable pace tonight in quality and the race.
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, I do like this track more than the last few. But the first 2 or 3 races I did in this division, I just didn't like the track. I think it was Miami and Qatar or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but those are some of my worst tracks. So Baku was also, I think, P4 in the end, or P5.
Yeah.
So just on my better tracks, I'm able to challenge for the podium and for the win possibly. But today wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, mate. Well, good job and massive points for RB. I'm sure TP would be absolutely stoked with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, mate. So good luck for next week. We will jump over to Cooper.
Yes, indeed. All right, so Cooper, commiserations on not getting the race win. We saw you try to escape the clutches of Ricciardo at the end there, but it wasn't to be. P2, still got to be happy with that result. I mean, you had so much pace today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst result. I mean, I'll still take P2. It's good points to catch down the championship leader, but overall, this track, you can just get binned with the tyre wear.
Yeah, and there's definitely a mix of opinions on Circuit of the Americas. From your perspective, very quickly, when the safety car was there, that must have been a real shock.
At first it was, but then I remembered it also happened in Creator Series when I was watching it, so I wasn't too surprised.
Okay, yeah, we'll hand you over to Dido for a couple of questions, and then we'll head over to our race winner.
Yeah, mate. Just with that penalty, obviously, was the deciding factor in the race there. Just talk us through there. Was it just because you were pushing a little too hard, or just a bit of a mistake?
That third warning was turned in too early for the second last corner, and then stuffed me up.
Unfortunate, mate. That's the point still.
Yeah, we'll take it and we'll move on to next week.
Yeah, mate. Good job.
Thank you very much for jumping in, Cooper. Really appreciate it. And yeah, apologies everyone for the quick interviews. We've just got to get through it today and get over to Division 2 coverage. And now our race winner, Ricciardo, welcome into the commentary box, mate. Congratulations. Relief, I'm sure, when you saw the penalty for Cooper, but then the pressure's all on you not to get a penalty.
Yeah, so I saw that he had a penalty, so I just like tried to chill out for last couple of laps and just save ERS. And just in case he could get it removed, I just used all my ERS down the straight and went past him. So yeah, it was a pretty good race.
Nice job, yeah. And of course, that first part of the race, 4 cars back to back. You're exchanging in positions with Cooper. You've got Forrestal and Meso right behind you. It was pretty hectic. And then, of course, we had the red flag. So, I mean, what's your perspective of the race? It was all, everything was happening all the time.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. That safety car just not budging was really surprising, and yeah, it was quite hectic.
Indeed. Dido, had you over to do some questions?
Yeah, man. I mean, you covered everything I was sort of going to ask there, but that penalty with Cooper, just maintaining that gap and all the chaos behind. How do you keep your head calm in a situation like that? Not getting a pen yourself. How do you sort of prepare yourself? I'm not sure if you got any warnings yourself, or just talk us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had one warning, and my TP once in Navy was just telling me, chill out, keep it clean, and just make it to the finish line. And that's what I did.
Did exactly that, mate. Well done.
Yep. Right, thanks, guys.
Indeed, well done. Thanks, Ricciardo. Really appreciate it. And we do, unfortunately, have to round out the stream rather quickly today. Dido, some summary from you before I finish off the stream for us today.
Yeah, it was a great race when we had it on the stream and everything. Sorry, guys, about the technical side of it. But, yeah, a great race. Very competitive again between Cooper and Ricciardo. And I'm sure we'll see that continue next week.
Certainly will. So the standings are going to be fascinating. I think Aston Martin may have done enough to get onto the top of the Constructors' Championship in Division 4. And that is round 13, set and done. Circuit of the Americas creating some serious action out there. We do, of course, apologize for the red flags and the interruptions into things today. This is just what happens sometimes, unfortunately. But I think everyone's handled that well. Thank you to all our viewers today. We hit a great record of 60 viewers live on the channel. Lots of points into Watanabe's purse as a result of calling Ricciardo on pole. So some great interactions on chat. Thank you all so much. That's been It's Dido in chat and myself, George Cook, also known as Crazy Good Kung Fu. And that is your Division 4 coverage for tonight. Division 2 will be coming to your screens in a very short amount of time. Thank you all so much. Good evening, good night, and goodbye.